Have you heard about it?
No.
No. Well, I think it's wrong and it should be illegal.
I don't think you're actually correct in what you say.
What?
That they won't have to pay as much tax. If they invest, then obviously they won't have to pay much tax because you don't pay tax on invested income.
Yeah, well, that way then.
No. Well, why not?
Because they're destroying, they're ploughing up the fields of rare-breeding birds and other animals. And
that is what's wrong. What's it got to do with tax? Birds don't pay tax.
Well...
So it's nothing to do with tax. Basically, the government has decided that it wants more money put into land usage. And one of the ways they want to use that land is by growing timber.
We've got enough already, enough forest of conifers.
Of?
Conifers.
Well, some would say we've got enough, others say we haven't got enough.
We've got plenty.
Well, we have a lot, yes, but whether we've got enough... I feel sure that the government just doesn't like the sight of rigidly direct lined like soldiers, lined up like trees and lined up like soldiers. I'm sure that's not the government's intention. I think they think we need the wood.
Yeah, well...
Because they're not going to plant all this wood and give people tax concessions to encourage them to invest in timber unless we need it.
Well, why can't they plant it somewhere else?
Well, it'll be planted where it'll grow. I mean, you could come and do it in our backyard if you like, but you'd probably only get 2 in.
Well, they're still destroying lots of it.
Yes, they are destroying a lot of rare birds, but who gives a damn? They're only birds.
Well, that's not the point. If we kill...
Well, they're only birds for crying out loud. Oh, tweet, 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 bang! Who gives them monkeys?
Well, if we killed every bird, then plants would start dying.
Well, they're not killing them all.
That's not the point.
They're only killing a few.
Well,
A couple of million. God bless it, the world's full of birds. They're always crapping on our lawn.
So you don't value a bird's life, do you?
I'm not saying I do. I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying, what does it matter?
It matters a lot.
Well, listen, if it matters that much, start weeping because one fell out of its nest and landed on our flowers this morning. What am I meant to do? Get upset? It's a dead bird. I don't know how natural it is when it fell out the gutter.
Well,
It's a plastic gutter. That's not very natural.
Well, it's still falling out, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying to you is it really doesn't matter. Convince me it matters.
Because they're very rare birds. And
Well, it'd be a damn sight rarer if we kill a few. That'd be even better.
You want them to be extinct, do you?
I'm not bothered.
You're not bothered?
Not in the least. Convince me I ought to be.
Because the...
Look, I am giving you a golden opportunity to put your point of view to 100,000 people, and all you can do is ask me poxy, stupid questions. Put your point of view. Convince me, for crying out loud. It shouldn't be hard. Fully paid up member of the RSPB, and you can't even convince me. What damn chance you got of paying everybody else? I'm not saying you are. I am. So convince me. Use the arguments.
Right. These birds are endangered in this country.
Fine, they'll soon be dead and we can stop worrying about them. Convince me it's important that we should have them.
It's important because they belong here and they shouldn't be forced out.
And that's it. That's your full, total argument. I think I'll cancel my subscription. You blew it, kid. How do, Tim?
I wanted to talk to you about favouritism. I've been on once tonight.
Go and get stood on, Tim. The only favouritism you'll ever get is you'll be specially selected to be cut off. You're a prat. How do, Mark?
Good evening, Alan.
Good evening.
I'd like to talk about charities, please.
Feel free.
Would I be correct in saying that you are a person who gets a lot of charity offers?
Depends what you mean. Nobody's ever given me anything.
Well, people ask you to front certain charity events.
People ask me to appear at them.
Yes.
I don't think I've been asked to front one.
And usually you accept these offers.
No, most of the time I don't, because most of the time I'm already busy.
But I will be correct in saying you do a fair amount of charity work.
I have been known to.
Yes, well, I don't know whether you're aware, Alan, but I've read a survey I read recently in a popular consumer magazine pointed out that only 1/7, which is just over 14% of all intended charity money, actually reaches the charities.
There you're talking about... Are you talking about the Which report?
That's right,
Yeah, I also subscribed to Which, and I also read the reports, and they were talking in the main about national charities. Generally, the charities I'm involved with are local charities, and very, very local. For example, this coming Saturday at 2 o'clock, I shall be at Moorfield School, Moor Park in Preston, opening their summer fair. That is a charity. I don't know whether it's a registered charity with the charity commissioners, but it is a charitable event. And all the money raised that day, all the money, there will be no measurable administration costs, will go to that school.
But don't you think, Alan, that it's fair enough saying it's only national charities, but 14% it's an abysmal amount of
Well,
money.
yes, but that wasn't the point you made. You started to talk about me and my involvement with charities. The charities I'm involved with, generally, are those which produce, if you like, a high return. In other words, I went along the other week and did something for a local mind centre. Now, I don't know the figures for the National Mind organisation, and I don't want to know. It doesn't matter. I went along and helped the local mind centre to raise a few bob, and a very, very large proportion of that money, over 90%, will go straight into the coffers of the local mind organisation.
Yeah.
Now, I'm involved at local level when I'm involved. I don't get involved with intergalactical mega charities for the very self-same reason that A, I can't identify with them, and B, a lot of the money is spent on admin, and I can't be bothered.
Well, if we get back to those intergalactical mega charities you just mentioned, those are the ones where, in the Witch magazine, it said only 1/7 of the money is actually reaching the charities. Don't you think there's something wrong with the system there, Alan?
Yes, there's something wrong with the system, but what we also have to consider is there were very limited number of charities they dealt with, and not all their figures were correct anyway.
No, but if...
And for example, Oxfam has a reputation for being a very, very expensive charity.
Yeah.
There are other charities, national charities, that have a reputation in the opposite direction. For example, Band-Aid. I think it was less than 20 pence in the pound. I think it was less than 10 pence in the pound was spent on administrative costs. So there are national charities that are productive. I believe the NSPCC has a very good figure.
Yeah.
The National Children's Home has a very good figure. It depends how you work it out.
Does a lot of the 6/7 of the money that isn't reaching there, a lot of that is actually in administration costs?
Indeed, yes. You have to remember, a charity like Oxfam that really has a bad reputation, and I've contributed to that bad reputation in terms of its productivity, if you like. If you have available, just as a figure off the top of my head, I don't know how accurate this figure is, it's a guess, but let us assume you have 10,000 blankets, 10,000 sleeping bags, ready to shell out to anywhere in the world. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, if you don't send them anywhere, they're still costing you money. Why are they costing you money? Because they've got to be kept in warehouses. They've got to be stored. So it means that if you give a quid to Oxfam, 30 pence of that might never actually serve any measurable purpose other than to put a roof over these sleeping bags.
Well,
so there are lots of expenses like that. Do you know when they suddenly say, oh, there's been an earthquake, and all these charities move in with mobile hospitals and everything?
Yeah.
You don't think they got shop and buy them that morning?
No.
They're stored.
No.
Now, storage and the administration of that storage, the administration so that you know where things are, the administration so that you've got the contacts with the organisations that are going to ship them for you, all that costs money, and it erodes the donations, but it's absolutely essential. You might argue that your money is being wasted because nothing productive is coming out of it today. A life has not been saved, but you're providing a base facility and a logistics solution to problems ready and waiting to be used, but that costs money.
But surely all that money can't be spent on administration.
I'm not saying all that money is spent on administration. I'm saying that...
Surely an amount of that money is being pocketed by the people who are supposed to be running the charities.
It depends on what you mean by pocketed. The implication of the term pocketed is that they are stealing it. That is probably the case in a minute number of individuals. The majority of the people, and I've been one of them, are working for that charity or a charity. They are an employee, and without employees it will not operate.
Yeah.
I worked for the Citizens Advice Bureau. I worked in Skelmersdale. I had 2 offices. I was an organiser, we used to call them. I believe they're now called managers. But I was the organiser or manager of the Skelmersdale and the Ormskirk Citizens Advice Bureau. That organisation had about 40 volunteers. I was paid. Now, I'm not saying I was any more important than the others, but somebody had to coordinate it, and you wouldn't be able to afford the time to coordinate it. I worked about a 60-hour week when I was there. No one would be able to afford the time to coordinate it unless they were paid, because I had to feed myself. I had to have a roof over my head. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you've got to pay people.
Yeah, well, the point I'm making is, say, for instance, a Saturday evening, you're out in a public house or a club, You have these people coming round for certain charities with the tins. Now, since I've read this report, I'm looking at them people and thinking, well, surely they must be pocketing some of that money
Well, I think you will find that they are probably not. Obviously, people do steal from charities. They steal from charities they're involved with. They steal blind bags out of chemists and the like. But at the end of the day, the vast majority of the money goes into the coffers of the charity. What then happens to it is that some of it is spent on storage of things, some of it is spent negotiation, some of it is spent sending their officers across the world to have a look at the problem and to make what I said before, logistic plans, or plans about the logistics for should the situation arise that they need to get gear over there, they've got to do all that. That costs money. It is expensive. And just keeping storage, just keeping things in storage, as the EEC will tell you, costs a fortune.
Yeah.
All right?
Okay, thanks.
Cheers. We should be talking to Ian next.
So there we were, browsing through the swimsuits when this gorgeous hunk came up to us.
He didn't.
He did. He said, you look like the sort of girl who's just booked her holiday with National Travel World's late booking desk, saved a fortune and got herself a microwave for only £79. So I thought to myself...
You didn't.
I did. I thought, how did he know? Turns out he's only a plumber from Preston and was in the queue behind me at National Travel World. But he took advantage of 10% discount on any item over £100 at Central.
He didn't.
He did.
If you want a last-minute bargain holiday plus a microwave for only £79, book before the 30th of June at National Travel World's late booking desk.
Rotters, the Northwest's only big night out. Every Friday and Saturday from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Enjoy the time of your life with the best in music at Rotters. The best in hen party nights at Rotters, with 4 bars, 4 dance floors and a better party night atmosphere. Check out Rotters, Oxford Street, Manchester, this Friday or Saturday. Rotters, fun galore and a whole lot more. It's bigger, it's better, it's Rotters. Ring Manchester 236 4934. Manchester 236 4934. Rotters.
Please listen to my ditty. It may not be very witty, nor even slightly funny, but it will help save you money. For me, from cradle to grave, I aim to shop and save. I buy out I need, for next to nought indeed. There's meat and veg and cheese and pigs and booze and clothes and cards and sweets and pigs and pet food and household things. So shop and save a load down Blackpool's Waterloo Road, in the market they call new, and Overt Road, the M2. Thank you. Poetry in prices, from the New Market and M2 Market.
It's the place to come, where shopping can be fun. The New Market, Waterloo Road.
The Red Rose Advertiser. In your Red Rose Advertiser this week, features on Tom O'Connor, Joe Mercer and David Jensen. Kids Corner with a star local junior DJ. Clive Lloyd's cricket column. Beswick hits out at Caravanners. And your letters on last week's controversy over horoscopes. The Red Rose Advertiser. There's a chance to win a £4,000 kitchen. And we ask, whatever happened to CB Radio? It's all in the Red Rose Advertiser for Preston and South Ribble. The Red Rose Advertiser.
I don't think hits out at Caravanners is quite the term, but never mind. How do Ian? He's gone now. How do Barry?
How do Alan?
Yep.
2 things. I want to ask, first of all, about British Rail. Now, if you get the train from Manchester to Carlisle, right, it costs you £11.50, right? Alan?
I don't know whether it's right or not. I've never made the journey.
Now then, yet if you go from Manchester, it's £8.50. If you go from Preston, it's £16.50.
To where?
To Carlisle.
Go on.
Yet it is closer from Preston to Carlisle than it is from Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
So how comes it's a cheaper price when you're travelling that extra from Manchester?
Well, I think you'll find it's something to do. I don't know, but it may be something to do with the facilities. Which way does the train go between Manchester and Carlisle?
Well, it comes up straight through Preston and Lancaster.
Does it, Big Ad? Well, I think your best bet then is to flit to Manchester and save all that money.
Yeah, because it's only £3 from Preston to Manchester, so you still work out saving if you go from Manchester to Carlisle.
Well, why don't you then?
No, I was just wondering how they work out the way to do it like that.
I think they probably do it on the basis of the number of people travelling.
Yeah.
It's not just the miles it covers. If they've got to lay a train on for one person every week, I promise you it'll cost a lot more than if they're laying a train on for 10,000 people.
Yeah. The other little thing I was...
Well, we only deal with one at a time, so that's it. Sorry, one at a time. How do David?
Oh, Alan, I'd like to talk about door-to-door salesmen and
Go on.
all the things that get put through the letterbox. Now, is there any way you can stop all the post that gets put through saying you can apply for this, you can apply for that, and stopping door-to-door salesmen calling at the door?
No, I don't think there is, to be honest.
No. What about the post? Isn't there some company that holds your name on record and you can actually put a stop on it?
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to work. I know people that have done it and they still get stuff.
No, it's just that round our area we've even got the odd 1 or 2 phone calls asking would you like to buy our double glazing, for example. And it gets a bit monotonous at times. I was just wondering if there's any way we could stop it, though.
Not to my knowledge. Sure someone will come on and tell us? All right.
Okay.
Cheers.
One more.
No, we only do one. Preston 561,000 if you want to come on and tell us how he stops doorstep salesmen and all those dreadful people that phone you up and trying to flog you something that you clearly do not want, otherwise you'd have rung them, and also those people that send you leaflets or even Red Rose advertisers that you don't want. If you can find a way, tell us about it on Preston 561,000. I'll do to line 5, whose name I've not got. Line 7's I've got, line 5's I ain't got. I'll do Mario.
Hello, Alan.
Yes.
For about 4 months, I had a problem with believing that I had AIDS. And I didn't really know what to do about it. Could you enlighten me on what to do about it?
You thought you had AIDS?
Yeah.
And have you found out whether you have or not?
Well, no, I haven't been anywhere to find out.
We'll go to your doctor and ask him to organise a test for you.
Well, what type of test?
An AIDS test? What other type?
Yes, and what would that entitle?
A blood test.
A blood test. I'm working in the catering trade. Is there anything I should do about that?
Nothing that you shouldn't already be doing, such as A, being hygienic about your work.
I know what I would like to do, but, you know, it's no chance of me doing that.
Fine.
Yes, because I'd like to take you out.
I'll do Lisa.
Hello.
Yes?
I'm phoning up about Stonehenge.
Go on.
Well, in about, I think it was 1940s, the Air Force bought it, the land, and they were going to knock it down to build an airfield. And it's my fourth cousin, Sir Cecil Chubb, I think it was, that bought it and gave it to the nation, you know, for everyone to see.
Yes?
But now, you know, they're trying to stop everyone seeing it. And
No, they're not stopping them looking at it, they're just stopping them getting round there and mauling with it.
Well, I just don't think it's right.
Why not?
Well...
Your fourth cousin, as you tell us he was, didn't want it knocked down.
No.
Did he want it to fall down?
Well, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. So, if we allowed people to go there in their thousands, and the land got eroded, and it did fall down, your fourth cousin would be pretty peeved.
True.
So we've got to protect it from erosion.
Yeah.
We've got to protect it in the best way we can. And the best way we can is to keep people away from it, because they do a lot of damage without meaning to often.
True.
I was actually, where was it? I was driving along the M6 north on Sunday. I went for a walk.
Yeah.
I think it was Sunday. And I walked up to Rivington Pike. Do you know it?
No.
Well, Rivington Pike's near Horwich, or Orwich as they prefer it called in that area. And I walked up to Rivington Pike. Now, when I got near the top, I noticed that it's just a hill. It's just a big hill. Not that big, actually. But there was a pathway. There always used to be a pathway that went from the bottom straight to the top. And they've actually closed that at the moment with railings and the like round it. And they've built another pathway that winds its way around the back. And the point I'm making is that this pathway, this direct route up, has been used by literally millions of people over the years. And because it was in my mind, the following day, Monday, I was driving up the M6 and I looked across at Rivington Pike, and there you could see it, this line, this thick, unsightly line that used to be a little path and is now almost a motorway on the damn thing. And they're going to have to redo it because it's been eroded. Now, if we did that at Stonehenge, that too would have those scars, and your great-uncle Chubb would not be a happy man. All right?
True.
Cheers. How do Hillary?
Hello, Alan. I'm wondering if you're aware of the fact that on the 1st of July, non-scratch resistant visors on crash helmets for motorcyclists and pillion riders become illegal?
No, I wasn't aware, but there's all sorts of things I'm not aware of. Why are you telling me, Hilary?
Because a lot of people are going to get pulled up and get a £100 fine if they don't have a legal visor on their helmet.
Fine, why? Fine, unfortunate word. Why are you still why are you telling me?
There's been very little publicity about the fact.
Well, maybe there'll be a bit more when we get near at 1st of July.
Ah, but don't you think by then, I mean, we went into a certain dealer today to get new visors for our helmets, and they haven't got them in stock and won't have them for 3 weeks.
Well, that seems a bit potty, doesn't it?
Doesn't it, just?
Well, thank you for giving us the publicity then.
Well,
you're right.
But don't you think it's crazy, Alan, the fact that you can wear the helmet without a visor, or you can wear the helmet with sunglasses, or you can wear a dark tinted visor, but you can't wear a visor which is classed as scratchable. Yeah.
Well, I think it's sensible that you can't wear a visor that's classed as scratchable, but I don't think it's sensible having all that other stuff, no. How do Jim?
Hello.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, Alan, you know, when you wandered down the streets in about 1958 with the pig's ear thing.
Oh, my word, that's taken us back a bit. Go on.
I was, were you the originator of, you know, you made the right pig's ear of that? No, but apart from that, you know, your next birthday, you know,
yes.
they say 40 never comes alone.
Yes.
I would hate Vicky to say to you after a nice Saturday evening out at about 2 in the morning, you've made the right pig's ear of that, Alan.
Away, on an Avalon holiday. We'll all have fun lying in the sun on an Avalon holiday.
Luxury coach travel and Avalon go hand in hand when it comes to Paris, and on the 26th of June for 3 superb days, it's just £65, including local pickup points, cross-channel ferry and top accommodation. Can you afford not to travel Avalon? Ring Bolton 398 788 to book your holiday.
398 788 to book your holiday.
Do you own a video library? Are your tills tingling rather than ringing like a crazed grandfather clock? Then contact Priory Video Wholesale now. They're bigger, they've more choice, which means they pass their savings on to you. Lease, hire or buy all the leading video titles and get some money in your till. Ring Priory Video Wholesale now. On Wigan, that's 0942 495 033. Wigan 495 033.
Priory Video, the leader in home video.
Access welcome.
When you think about cars, it pays to think of John Wilding.
Whether you're planning to buy a new Ford, Lada or Citroen, John Wilding now has all the latest models of all 3 of these makes in stock and waiting for you to test drive. Alternatively, if you're looking at fully guaranteed used, you won't find a better choice than at John Wilding's 2 fabulous showrooms on the A6 at Garstang for Ford and at Westgate Morecambe for Lada and Citroen.
When you think about cars, it pays to think of John Wilding. John Wilding!
Nurses. For 3 days this week, Nursing Times will be holding a major exhibition at UMIS, Sackville Street in Manchester City Centre. See all the latest products, equipment and services on the market for nurses today. Visit the Job Forum to meet employers who are offering all the latest nursing jobs. And there are over 20 seminars giving free guidance on all the career opportunities in nursing. The Nursing Times exhibition is on today and tomorrow at UMIS, Sackville Street in Manchester. Doors open at 10 a.m. Admissions free to all nurses. Don't miss it.
I'll do Ian. No, it's not, it's David. I'll do David.
Hello, Alan. I wanted to talk about the diesel of an electric chair in America and hanging and such. I was wondering if they could do, like, get them to take the pill or inject them somehow rather than hang them or put them in an electric chair. I was wondering what you thought.
I think that the most humane, inverted commas, way of putting somebody to death via capital punishment is in fact hanging.
Well, why is that, Alan?
Well, simply because it is the quickest.
But is it not, like, nerve-wracking actually going on that you're going up there to be hung rather than just be ejected or
well, first of all, going up there to be hung implies that you walk up a scaffolding and then you fall through. It isn't like that at all. The victim, and I'll use that term, the victim, the person to be put to death, is in the cell that they've been in for weeks, the condemned cell. The hangman goes into that cell at the appointed time, and I think that appointed time is 7 o'clock. And according to the autobiography of the once public hangman Albert Pierrepoint, he used to go in as soon as the clock started to chime, and the person was dead before it struck the last of the the last of the 7 strikes. In other words, the person goes in, the hangman goes in, the person has their arms pinioned behind their back, they're taken to the next door where there is a hole in the floor. They don't see the hole in the floor, but they stand over the trapdoor. They have it isn't a bag that they put over their head, and it isn't black, it's white, and it's just a piece of cloth. They put a white piece of cloth over the head. The noose, which is already arranged, is put over the head. It is tightened, they pull the lever, wallop, they're dead. Every other method is slower than that. The electric chair is slower than that. They've got to be strapped in. They've got all kinds of things that have got to be happening. And there is evidence that it takes 4 or 5 seconds to die, at least. There's also people that didn't die at all. Poisons don't work that quickly. Certainly tablet-taken poisons don't, because they've got to get through your system and can be horrendously painful. So no, it is the most effective way.
I see, okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
How do Colin?
Hello, Alan. Ringing regarding the controversy that's going on about the so-called druids and the hippies at Stonehenge. I seem to recall reading somewhere that there's no actual documented proof at all that the druids had anything at all to do with Stonehenge. I'm just wondering what gives them the right to do what they do on Stonehenge, and the hippies are just given a wide berth.
Well, the simple answer is, and I don't know whether it's a satisfactory one, but it's a simple one, the Druids have been worshipping the sun for generations, and they've been worshipping it at Stonehenge, which clearly was built with the sun in mind. The way Stonehenge is built, the sun does a particularly distinctive, or casts particularly distinctive shadows and the like, which implies, and strongly implies in my view, that it was built with sun worship in mind. The Druids are the sun worshippers of our time and of many generations past. So if anyone has I suppose a historical claim to worship there, they do. But why the hippies shouldn't be allowed to also, if they feel like, I can't think of a reason. Other than there's too many of them and they're not organised properly and they might do some damage.
I don't remember reading anywhere that the hippies have actually interfered with worship in any way. I just thought it was a bit unfair, even though the Druids have more or less paid this year.
Okay, well, the tradition of the hippies being there is about 6 years old. The tradition of the Druids being there is about 6 centuries old. So I suggest theirs is the stronger tradition. Whether it is a correct tradition, I don't know. Perhaps after 600 years it is a correct tradition. Whether it originally was or not is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for your call. I'll do Ian.
Hi, Al.
Yep.
I'd like to talk to you about advertising, please.
Go on.
I've heard a few adverts quite recently that make claims which it's a bit hard to substantiate. And I was wondering, is it up to the people who make the adverts to prove their case before they give it to the IBA?
No.
Or is it
No is the answer to that.
Is it the people who are actually listening, is it their job to disprove it?
Well, the IBA or the Advertising Standards Authority have the right to say to an advertiser, look, we're not allowing that because we think it breaks the code, and they can stop the ad. If the ad is running, either in newspapers, television, what have you, or on the radio, and you think it breaks the code, you have the right to challenge it and to have it taken off if it is shown to be inaccurate.
Yeah, I don't mention any names or anything, but
if you give the product, you've already, or if you give the advert, you've already identified it.
No, I won't do that either. It's just that a certain number of adverts claim they have the best something, like, for example, I'll say, the best sale, or the best prices on, say we have, this is total example, say a car showroom,
Yes.
says we have the best showroom in the northwest.
Well, the great difficulty with that is that it is a value judgment. It isn't a factual statement. Now, there's nothing wrong with making or claiming value judgments. If you can say, well, we think it's the best, and this is why we think it's the best, somebody else can come along and say, well, I think it isn't. But that doesn't alter their opinion. So they're saying we have the best. Just like I say, I am the best broadcaster in the whole world. Now, no one's going to argue with that at all, because it's true. But even if I wasn't the best broadcaster in the whole world, if I was, I don't know, David Legg and I said it, then I'd argue for a start, because he isn't. He's the second best. I'm the best.
So it's all down to...
It's opinion.
If they put it over as an opinion, then it's okay to claim it.
Well, if they put it over as a value judgment, if they say this is a value if they say we've got the biggest and you can find a bigger one, then they're wrong.
Oh, yeah.
If they say we've got the best and you can find a better one and convince them that it's a better one, they're wrong, but you're not going to convince them, are you?
Yeah. Just one thing, Al, very quick, not really another subject. The melodic moments you're playing.
It is another subject. How do nobody? We'll talk to Terry after this.
So there we were, browsing through the swimsuits when this gorgeous hunk came up to us. He didn't. He did. He said, you look like the sort of girl who's just booked her holiday with National Travel World's late booking desk, saved a fortune and got herself a microwave for only £79. So I thought to myself... You didn't. I did. I thought, how did he know? Turns out he's only a plumber from Preston and was in the queue behind me at National Travel World. But he took advantage of 10% discount on any item over £100 at Central. He didn't. He did.
If you want a last-minute bargain holiday plus a microwave for only £79, book before the 30th of June at National Travel World's late booking desk.
Please listen to my ditty. It may not be very witty, nor even slightly funny, but it will help save you money. For me, from cradle to grave, I aim to shop and save. I buy out I need, for next to nought indeed. There's meat and veg and cheese and pigs and booze and clothes and cards and sweets and pigs and pet food and household things. So shop and save a load down Blackpool's Waterloo Road, in the market they call new, and Overt Road the M2. Thank you. Poetry in prices, from the New Market and M2 Market.
It's the place to come, where shopping can be fun. The Newmarket Waterloo Road.
Rotters, the Northwest's only big night out. Every Friday and Saturday from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. Enjoy the time of your life with the best in music at Rotters. The best in hen party nights at Rotters, with 4 bars, 4 dance floors and a better party night atmosphere. Check out Rotters, Oxford Street, Manchester, this Friday or Saturday. Rotters, fun galore and a whole lot more. It's bigger, it's better, it's Rotters. Ring Manchester 236 4934. Manchester 236 4934. Rotters.
This Saturday from 9 till 12, the chart of Lancashire's favourites will be played on Lancashire's favourite station, the Red Rose Top 40 on Red Rose Radio, in association with Red Rose Kitchens of Morebrook Street, Preston, manufacturers of quality-fitted kitchens and the #1 kitchen for your home. The chart is compiled by computer every week from sales throughout the Northwest. Catch the Top 40 this Saturday at 9 a.m. and discover which song's been made #1 by you.
Red Rose Kitchens, always the #1 for your home.
I'll do Terry.
Oh, could you tell me how I could go about finding out who owns a piece of land?
One way is by asking the local authority, but it isn't easy and they don't always know.
No. It's because, you see, I ride a motocross bike and there isn't anywhere around my area where we're allowed to ride. So I was wondering, I know where there is a piece of land that isn't close to any houses or anything like that, where we'd annoy him by the noise, And I was wondering how I could find out who owns it.
Ask the local authority. They might know. They don't always know, but they might do. Okay?
Okay.
Cheers. How do Mike?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Back again. Chopped my legs out from under me before.
Just tell me what you want.
Back on Stonehenge.
What about
it? The Druids had nothing to do with Stonehenge.
Fine. But they have done for a number of years now.
They have done recently, but it...
Well, what do you define as recently? Since last Tuesday?
No.
Tuesday before? 5 years?
Not for 600 years.
I didn't say 600. I said a few hundred.
Yeah. Well, since the Victorian period, actually, the Druids didn't exist before then.
The Druids did exist before then.
They didn't.
The Druids did exist.
The Romans
The Druids did exist before then.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Progress.
The Romans pretty well wiped out the Druids.
I thought they didn't exist. Who were they wiping out if they weren't there?
The Romans wiped out the Druids.
I thought you said there was none before then. I'm sorry. Excuse me a moment. Terry, what's your name? Mike. You said the Druids did not exist before Victorian times. So the Romans came after Victorian times.
Let's be sensible.
Well, I was trying to be. Did the Romans come after Victorian times?
During the Victorian period...
Did the Romans come after Victorian times? Did the Romans come after Victorian times?
It hikes in with the Masons as
Did
well.
the Romans come after Victorian times?
No, of course.
No. So when the Romans were wiping out the Druids that didn't exist, did they find this
Druids
difficult?
did exist.
Oh, you said they didn't. They did not exist before Victorian times. That was your statement. You've been Beswicked again. Good night. How do, Andy?
Hello, Alan.
Yes?
You know, before you said birds don't pay taxes,
Go on.
how come they have bills?
Ah, well, they're not tax bills.
I didn't phone up for that.
They're dinner bills. I have enough of them myself. Go on.
I bought a canoe about a month ago.
I'm a canoe. Go on.
Because I do marathon canoeing.
Yeah.
And one of the problems is I get cold feet when I'm canoeing.
Well, try not to be afraid.
I've got very good. I've got bad circulation in my feet, and they get very, very cold. So I went along to the Marine. It's near you, by the way.
The Marine?
A Marine.
What Marine?
It's a shop.
What Marine?
Well, I can't mention it, can I?
Well, you just did the Marine. I don't know what you're talking about.
A Marine. It's a shop.
A Marine?
A boat shop.
Oh, I see.
And they suggested that I buy these hand warmers.
Well, I'm going to stop you, because you're not allowed to name shops. How do, Paul?
How do, Alan? Yeah, I'd like to talk about blacks being in this country.
Go
Coloured
on.
people. I don't think they should be in the country at all.
Why not?
Well, because they've got not all the jobs. They've got a lot of the blacks have got jobs that white people could be filling.
Well, the black people, some of them were brought here because the white people wouldn't do them.
Well, surely there's plenty of other white people that would do the job.
They wouldn't at the time. That's why the black people were brought here.
Well, can't they do anything about it now?
They don't see why we should. We took them when we wanted them. We'll keep them now. Thank you very much. I quite like them. I prefer them to you because you're filth. How do, John?
Hello?
Hello.
I'd like to talk about fox hunting.
Go on then.
You think it's cruel?
No, what I think. You said you want to talk about it. Tell me what you've got to say. If you haven't got the intellect to tell me what you've got to say, then shut your gob and get off.
Well, I think it's cruel, but it's a sport, and it's been going years and years, and all these people who protest against it, they're fools. It should be allowed.
Can I tell you that throwing Christians to the lions was a sport, and that went on for a long time. Are you a Christian? Are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Well, throwing Christians to the lions has been going on for years and years and years in Roman times, so come with me to Chester Zoo tomorrow and I'll feed you to the lion and we'll all have a damn good laugh. We'll say, what a lovely sport this is, having a prat's head ripped off by a lion.
Nurses. For 3 days this week, Nursing Times will be holding a major exhibition at UMIS, Sackville Street in Manchester City Centre. See all the latest products, equipment and services on the market for nurses today. Visit the Job Forum to meet employers who are offering all the latest nursing jobs. And there are over 20 seminars giving free guidance on all the career opportunities in nursing. The Nursing Times exhibition is on today and tomorrow at UMIS, Sackville Street in Manchester. Doors open at 10 a.m. Admissions free to all nurses. Don't miss it.
Away, away, on an Avalon holiday.
The date is the 27th of June, the destination Austria. Imagine 10 days of luxury coach travel with stays in Liège, Gasthof, Zillertal and Strasse, plus excursions to Innsbruck and Meyerhofen. The company is Avalon Travel. The price, a giveaway at £199 for 10 superb days. Ring Avalon Travel now on Bolton 398 788.
Bolton 398 788 to book your holiday. Deal direct with Direct Windows.
Direct Windows, the best way to buy UPVC windows and doors in Lancashire. We install the superb Bowater Halo system, and all work is guaranteed and underwritten at Lloyd's of London. Buy direct, avoid the middleman, and make hard cash savings. Visit the new factory showroom 7 days a week at 64 Red Scar Estate, Longridge Road, or phone Paul Kelly on Preston 703 008.
Deal direct with Direct Windows. Direct Windows.
When you go on holiday this year, send me a postcard and you could win a fabulous prize. John Gilmore here, giving away 3 fantastic prizes. For the postcard I receive, posted the furthest away from Lancashire, the winner will receive a £600 sunbed to keep that tan topped up from Ainsworth and Dent of Nelson. For the sauciest postcard, the winner will have a weekend for two at Blackpool's Imperial Hotel. And finally, for the most original message, wish you were weather here fine, the winner receives a voucher for £150 to spend on ladies' or gents' clothing from Lewis's of Blackpool. So have a great holiday and don't forget to send me a postcard. And listen between 12 noon and 3 for your card to be read out. This competition closes at the end of August with the winner announced in September.
I'm glad I can get people to write to me. Postcard from the farthest place. It's got to be Australia, hasn't it? And who's going to measure it? You've puddled that Gilmore, you know. This is nice, isn't it? That's rather a nice little tunette. Have you finished wrecking the joint?
Aye, I have. Have that.
Knocking everything over. I'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock and of course tomorrow night at 10 o'clock as well. And on Sunday at 11, but that's in the morning. No, it's not Sunday in the morning. Try to stay awake. I mean, it'll be in the morning on Sunday when I'm on. 11, not night. Yeah? Still with me? Good. Whoever is next. Can't have everything, can you, really? So until tonight at 10, I bid you a very good evening. Have a grand day. Going for lunch tomorrow and I'm to lucky. Bye.
The 2 o'clock news, this is Sarah Jones. Magistrates on Teesside are this morning to decide whether some of the 200 children taken into care by Cleveland Social Services should be returned to their parents. Several of the parents, who claim they've been unjustly accused of sexually abusing their children, attended a special church service in Middlesbrough last night to pray for the reunion of their families. Helena Kirkuch was there.
One couple left church in tears. Their 3 children, aged 5, 7 and 10, have been taken into care within the last 48 hours.
Miss Dr. Higgs took all my 3 children into care last night. She took the 2 eldest ones last night and the baby yesterday. I'm lost.
That mother says an independent doctor has since given one of her children the all clear. Her vicar, the Reverend Michael Wright, spoke of a collective grief on Teesside.
People feel as intensely, they tell me, as if their children had died. The agony is intense and they feel they don't know what's happening to their children, who's looking after them. They just don't know and they ache.
Helena Kirkuch, IRN, Middlesbrough.
The Queen opens the new Parliament today amid unprecedented security precautions at Westminster against a possible terrorist attack. The Queen's speech will outline the government's proposals for the coming parliamentary session. As Martha Carney reports, the packed legislative programme shows no sign that Thatcherism is running out of steam.
Mrs Thatcher means to change the face of Britain once and for all, an end to the nanny state and the beginning of people power.
Radical policies for the future, policies for our times, policies to give wider choice and wider ownership to the people.
There'll be wider choice in education, housing and health, though Labour says it'll only be choice for those who can pay, and for the rest it'll be hardship. After 8 years of Conservative rule, today the Thatcher revolution begins in earnest. Martha Carney, IRN, Westminster.
Labour's National Executive has emerged from its first meeting since losing the election, confident that the party is not going to crucify itself with bloodletting and recriminations. Party chairman Larry Whitty says there'll be no post-mortem, more of a biopsy to diagnose where they went wrong and how best to win the next election.
I did not detect any desire from any faction within the party for recriminations or anything approaching bloodletting. There will be mistakes from which we will learn, but we are in a very unified and comradely spirit within the party. That was very evident today in the NEC. I believe it also to be the case in the vast majority of constituencies around the country.
2 sets of twins who got married on the same day 7 years ago have now both produced children on the same day. Donnie and Ronnie Shannon married Dawn and Sean Shaw in a double ceremony in 1980. They honeymooned together in New Orleans and now live 4 doors apart in the Texas town of Arlington, where they all work for the US Postal Service. Dawn and Sean gave birth to baby girls within 3 hours of each other in the same hospital ward. Independent Radio News.